So, welcome to day 6 of the 7-day boot camp. We have one more day left. Today, we are going to talk about loops or iterative statements. Okay. Now, what are these loops? What are these iterative statements? When do I have to use it? Say, you need to get these ideas in your mind. Like whenever you want to make any calculation, you will be using operators. Okay, arithmetic operators for simple operations. If you want to compare, you will go with relational operators. If you want to check any conditions and execute statements depending on it, okay, when you have to take a decision, you will be going with decision control statement, right? And now why do we use loops or when do we use loops? You see, whenever we want to repeat a block of statements, okay, when we want to repeat a block of statements, when we want to repeat a block of statements, okay, so we will be using loops based on a condition or for a fixed number of iterations, we will be using loops, okay, we use loops. Now, there are two types of loops in Python. Two types of loop. First one is we have the while loop. Okay. Second one is we have the for loop. We have while loop and we have for loop. Now talking about while loop, when you should be using while loop, when you should be using for loop. You see, while loop is a condition based loop. Condition based loop. Okay. Remember that as of now. Now for loop is a iteration based loop. For loop is a iteration based loop. Now, while loop, condition based loop, for loop, iteration based loop. Okay. Let me show you the syntax, then we can get started with talking about this while and for loop. Let us see while syntax. Now, coming to the syntax of while, so how you will be writing it is, you see, for any loop, we need to have three things. Okay. There are three rules for any loop. Let me write that out as well. Three rules for any loop. So first one, you should have a starting point. Second one, you should have an ending point. Third one, you should have change of value. Okay. This starting point, we call it as initialization. This ending point, we call it as condition. This change of value is called as step value. If it is increasing, we call it as increment. If it is decreasing, we call it as decrement, right? There are three rules for any loop: starting, ending, change of value. Okay. And there are two types of loops, while loop and for loop. Let us see the while loop syntax. You see, it's very simple. The syntax will look something like this. Okay. You'll have initialization outside the loop. Then we will use the while keyword, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Here, we will be checking the condition. Okay. So here we'll have our text expression or condition, you can say. This should give us true or false, right? Then again, same indentation. We need to have different statements. Statement one, statement two, statement three, so on up to statement n, and probably lastly we'll have this step. Okay, it's not like specified to be at the ending, but generally we prefer to write it at the end of our step. Now let the syntax sink in a little bit. So what we'll have, every loop will have three things. What are those? Starting point, ending point, and change of value. Okay. So where we have to start, where we have to end, and how the value is changing. Right. So first we need to do initialization. Before the loop, we need to check condition beside the while keyword inside those parentheses, that is optional. And next, the last one, the step value, we can write it anywhere inside the loop, but preferably people write it in the end. Now, here is the fun part. Okay, here is the most important thing that we need to understand. Let me write it as a note point. Note. If you observe, A while loop is just like a if statement. Okay, let me tell you that. So what will happen is here I'm going to check this condition. So I'll come here, I'll check this condition. If this condition is true, the statements inside a while loop, you have learned about the block now. Okay, this is all the block statement inside a while loop, right? So all these will be executed if the statement is true. All this will be executed. Now, if it is false, it is going to come out of the loop. It is going to skip this, right? Very similar to if it is going to check the condition. If the condition is true, executes the while loop statements. If the condition is false, it will skip this block and it is going to continue with the rest of the code. But here we have a small note point, that is, after executing the last line, okay, it will again go back and check the condition. It will loop again. It will again go back and check the condition. Okay, what happens? What happens? How is it different to if, or how is that looping works? Okay, when, I'll write it here, when the last statement of the loop is executed, it will again go back and check the condition. What will happen here? What will happen? The last statement is executed. It will again go back and check the condition. Okay. So I'll let it sink a little bit. I hope you understand that. Very simple. We instead of if we have while, we have our condition. If the condition is true, if block statements are executed, while block statements will be executed. How is it different to if? When you are done executing all the lines inside your while block, it will again go back and check the condition. Okay. Until and unless the condition is false. Until and unless the condition is false, this will keep on executing. This will keep on repeating. So what is while loop? While loop is a condition based loop. So what happens? Okay. It keeps on executing the loop statements until it becomes false. Okay. Until it becomes false, it will keep on executing the loop statements. Okay. Let's complete while loop. Then we can come back again and discuss about for loop. It's very easy, not at all difficult. Right. So let's see. Let's talk about printing 1 to 10 numbers. Okay. Printing 1 to 10 numbers. To see what is the output that I want to achieve. You see, whenever you want to convert anything into logic, it's very simple. Okay. I told you that there are three rules for any loop. Every loop will contain a starting point, a ending point, and a change of value. Okay. Step value. Now, if you want to figure it out, if you want to find it, write what you want to achieve. What is the output that you're expecting? You say, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You say, I want to print 1 to 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So can you tell me where I have to start? Okay, we need to convey the same to the computer. So where it should start? Okay, let us say if I tell it, just print numbers. So the computer doesn't know how many numbers it has to print, where it has to start, where it needs to stop. Okay. It's kind of like, okay, when we play that game where one person turns towards the wall and he counts from 1 to 20, then he will go and search the thieves. Okay. Police and thief. So what we do here, he starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, he counts up to 20. Okay. If we do not define the starting point or if we do not define the ending point, that person, that poor guy, will keep on counting up to infinity while turning towards the wall. Okay. If it's a fair game, we need to dictate all these things. We need to specify, mention all this stuff. So can you tell me where we have to start? What is the starting point? What is the ending point? And how the values are changing? How much the value is changing? What is the starting point? What is the ending point? And how much the value is changing? Starting point, ending point, and how much the value is changing? Please post it in the chat box. Very few responses today. Right. So what's the starting point? You see, I'm starting at 10. What is the ending point? I need to end at 10. Sorry, start at 1. I need to end at 10. And how the value is changing. You see, I need to start from the starting point. I need to go to the last value, to the ending point. I need to add 1 every time. I need to add 1 every time. Then only I can move ahead and reach the ending point. So we are incrementing, we are increasing the value. So we call it as increment. Okay. So now these are the three things. For every loop, you need to know where you are starting, where you are ending, and how you will reach from starting to ending. Okay. How the value is changing, the change of value. These three are important. So before you get started with any of the code part, you need to figure out this part. You need to know the starting, ending, and step value. Then happily you can sit and you can complete it. So say let us assume these values are right. Assuming the variable is I, let us take them as I. So I will be 1. Okay. I is equal to I plus 1. We need to keep on doing that. Okay. You see, 1 is fine, 2 is fine, 3 is fine, 4 is fine. Up to 10, it's okay. When it becomes 11, we need to stop it. Okay. So this is fine until I is less than or equal to 10. This is how we change that into a condition. Okay. Our starting point, our ending point, our change of value. These are the three rules. Okay, three rules. Once you have all the three rules, get started. Get started with the code part. Okay, see here, I'll get started with it. So I'll take n. N is equal to. First, let's take some input. Int of input. Okay, so let's ask the user to enter in. Let's ask the user to enter n. So user will enter the n value. Okay, what I am doing here is instead of printing up to 10, I want to print up to n. So here, what is the small change I need to do? So instead of 10, I will start at 1, but I'm going to end at n. Okay, so that n can be 10, 20, 30, 40, doesn't matter. Loop is going to keep on repeating it. Loop will execute it, right? So as I told you in the syntax, what is the syntax of our while loop? We need to have initialization before the loop. Initialization before the loop. What's happening with this? Initialization before the loop. So let us take our I. We are starting our I at 1. Now it goes with the keyword while, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. What's your condition? I less than or equal to 10. That is my condition. Okay. End it with a colon. Again, with a level of indentation, what do you want to do? Okay, so let's write some statement. Loop is executing. Loop is executing. Let me write one more print statement. Maintain the same level of indentation. Value of I is, let's print I value. Done. Now that's it. I'm going to end my loop. So here we should have our increment or decrement. I less than or equal to 10. So let's change the value. Let's execute it. Now I'll run this. Then I'll explain you it one more time. Then we'll see some animated PPT. So you'll get good idea about it. Done. So yeah, let's wait for it to run. Done. So enter and it's asking. So let us say n value is 5 or 6 or 7, it doesn't matter because we kept I less than or equal to 10 here now. Let's change that to n first. So now whatever n value that you will enter, it is going to execute that many times. So if I enter 5, I'll get the loop will be executed 5 times. If I enter 10, it will be executed 10 times. Okay, that is how it goes. Now enter n. Let us enter n value as 5. So how many times loop will execute? You see, we are getting two statements that are repeated continuously on the screen. So loop is executing is the first line, value of I is 1. Again, loop is executing, value of I is 2. Again, loop is executing, I 3, 4, 5, and it is going to stop. Okay. So why? Why? Because the condition will fail. I value will become 6. 6 is less than or equal to n, which is not true because n is 5. So it is going to exit the loop. So what's happening here is the main thing that you need to observe is here, these three statements are being repeated until and unless this condition fails, until and unless this condition becomes false. Okay. So that's how the while loop works, right? Now let's see. Let's get started. Let's see a small animation related to this. Then we'll again come back and we'll continue. Let's see. My team has worked a lot, so they created these PPTs till 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday. It's freshly baked, okay, out of the oven. So I hope you would enjoy this session. Not that kind of participation I was expecting, but yeah, fine. Okay. We only want interested people. PPT is still open. Right. So let's see the first loop program. Okay. Let's see first loop program. Right. So what is the problem statement? Problem statement, we need to write a program to generate 1 to n numbers by using while loop. Okay, I just wrote the code for you, gave you all the theory parts. Okay, you have seen the output as well. Now let us visualize it. Okay, this visualization should be printed in your mind. This will take you to places. As we said, unique learning experience, interactive way of teaching. No one can explain loops like us. Okay, get ready to witness the greatness. So first, what did we do? First, we have taken an integer input. We have stored it inside it. Next, we have to generate 1 to n numbers by writing that while loop, and we have to display them as you have seen. Now let's get started. What are the three rules? Rule number one, initialization I equal to 1. Rule number two, figure out the condition. You're okay until and unless I value is less than or equal to n. You can execute happily. And rule number three, updation. We are increasing the value. We are adding it 1 every time. Right? These are the three rules. Now let's see some sample input output. Example one, n value is 5. So we can have to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Example two, okay. And value is 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what we have to print. The loop will execute 10 times. Now, as you can see here, I'm taking n value input from the user, I equal to 1. And beside while I have the condition, I less than or equal to 1. I'm printing I and I'm displaying them in a single line. So I'm ending it with a space. I'm not having that new line character there. And I'm incrementing 1 every time. I'm incrementing I by 1 every time. Now let's understand how this particular loop will work. Now see first line will be executed n equal to int of input. So it is going to display enter n on the screen. Okay, and we have entered 5. Now next, it will go ahead and execute the second line. That is I equal to 1. So I have been initialized. So in the memory, I will be assigned with 1. Okay. The first iteration, initially, when you are getting started, you can see that iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them will come. So iteration means one execution. Okay. When we are executing it for the first time, that is what iteration means. Now, next statement will execute, that is while I less than or equal to n. Okay. Now, what is the value of I? What is the value of I? Value of I is 1. What is the value of n? Value of n is 5. So 1 less than or equal to 5. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? Answer in the chat box. I less than or equal to n. That is true or false? I less than or equal to n. That is true or false? I less than or equal to n. That is true or false? That's true. So what did I tell you? While is kind of like simple if statement. So what happens when it is true? The statements inside the while will be executed. Okay. You see that condition is true. So the statements inside while will be executed. So it is going to execute the statements inside while. That is, okay, I printing I. So what will happen? Print I with space. Okay. So I will be printed. So prints 1 on the screen. You will be able to see 1. The next line that we have is I equal to I plus 1. So I value will be incremented by 1. So what is I value? I value is 1. It is going to be added 1 more 1. So it will be 2. Now what happened? We have reached the last statement of a loop. I hope you all remember. What happens when we reach to the last statement of a loop? What will happen? What will happen when last statement of a loop is executed? What will happen when last statement of a loop is executed? What will happen when last statement of the loop is executed? No, it should not terminate the loop. It will not terminate. Yes, it will again go back and check the condition. You see here, we have kept these arrows for you for better visualization. So last statement of the loop has been executed. So it will again go back and check the condition, right? So now again, what do we need to do? We need to again go back, go to the top and check the condition again. So that marks the end of our first iteration. One time we have executed everything. So iteration one is done. Second time we are going to execute everything. So iteration two is starting. So again, before you get started with every iteration, I want you to be aware of the values, updated values. So what is the value of n? It is still 5. No change has occurred. What is the value of I? Is it still 1? No, I has been updated to 2. You can see the values, updated values on bottom left corner, right? I value has been updated to 2. So n is 5, I is 2. Now check the condition. I less than or equal to 1. Okay. That is I value is 2. 2 is less than or equal to 1. Right? That is true. So 2 is less than or equal to 5. That's correct. So we are going to execute the statements inside while. First statement, we have to print I. What is the value of I? 2. So prints 2. That will be displayed on the screen. Next statement, it is going to increment the value of I. So I equal to I plus 1. So I value will be increased by 1. So I value updates to 3. Now again, same thing. Last line of the loop has been executed. Then what will happen? Last line of the code has been executed. It will again go back and check the condition. Okay. It will again go back and check the condition. So it will come back again and check the condition. So we are done with the second iteration. Okay. So now let's get started with the third iteration. Again, before getting started with the comparison or execution of your loop, keep this in mind. Always keep the updated variables in your mind. So what are the updated variables? What is the value of n? N value is 5. What is the value of I? I value is updated to 3. Now check the condition. I less than or equal to n. That is true or false? That's obviously true because I value is 3. 3 less than 5 is true. So that's correct. Then and statements inside the while. So we have to print 3 and then we need to increment the value of I. So I is equal to I plus 1. So I value is 3. It is going to be updated to 4. That is the end of third iteration. Again, we are done with executing the loop statements. What do we have to do? Again, go back and check the condition. This will keep on repeating until and unless that condition becomes false. So let's see when that condition will fail. So third time we have executed everything, we are again going back to execute everything fourth time. Before you start an iteration, have the updated values. N is 5, I is 4, 4 less than or equal to 5. That is true. So we need to execute the statement. So we are printing 4 and we are updating I value to 5. I equal to I plus 1. So I value was 4. So it is going to be updated to 5. Have all the updated values. Last line has been executed. Next iteration, we will move forward. Okay, again, go back and check the condition. So iteration 4 is completed. So now let's get started with iteration 5. So same thing, iteration 5. N equal to 5, I equal to 5, I less than or equal to n. So 5 less than or equal to 5. That is true or false? 5 less than or equal to 5. That is true or false? Obviously true. 5 is equal to 5. So 5 will be printed. The loop is executed again. I value will be incremented. I equal to I plus 1. So I equal to 5 plus 1. I value becomes 6. Okay. Now again, last line of the loop has been executed. It will again go back and check the condition. Okay. Control will again come back again to check the condition. Now here, this is the important part. This is where it becomes interesting. Now you see, before checking the condition, have your updated values. Write your updated values, visualize them. N is 5 and I is 6. Now check the condition. I less than or equal to n. That is 6 less than or equal to 5. That is true or false? That is true or false? Obviously false. 6 is not less than or equal to 5. So that is false. So our condition failed. Our condition failed. You should not execute the statements inside the loop. Okay. So loop will not execute. Loop is going to skip the loop statements. Okay, what are the two statements that we have inside? We have the print statement and we have the type. So these two statements will be skipped and it is going to execute the statements after it. Do we have any statements after it? No. So what will happen? Your program will come to stop. Your programming is completed. Okay. So this is how the loop will work. Instead of you doing all the hard work, system is going to execute everything manually for you. System will do that job. Okay. So you just need to specify where to start, where to end, how to change from starting to ending, how to travel. Automatically, system will do that task. Okay. And this, my friend, is the unique learning experience. As we told you, no one can explain loops better than us. So this is just a sample. Okay. So I hope you loved this particular explanation part. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever seen anything like this? I hope you all have studied engineering, C programming in the first year, a lot of trainings. Okay. Maybe your guys are graduates, some of you are from some institutes and all. Have you ever seen anything like this? Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt till now? Clear? Everything is clear? Yeah, just like we are explaining you every iteration, whenever you're facing any issue, try to write that on a piece of paper. Okay. I invented these, I called them as tracing sheets. And the same thing, we have animated everything for you. Okay. So yeah, try to do this tracing. You will understand where your program is giving you that error and you can rectify it. Okay. That's it. That is the first program that we have. That is printing one to n numbers, one to n numbers. Now, now as you understood how loops will work, okay, how loops are working. Now let us see the models generally that you will come across. You see, I've been teaching programming for the past 9 years, okay, since I was introduced to it. Okay, so I can tell you there are only three, three different models in loops. You can only find three models in loops. Okay, I have named them myself. Okay, this is not from any book or anything. This is from my personal experience. I can divide loops into three parts. So let me break it down to you. If you learn these three models, any type of loop program only which involves a basic loop can be easily completed. Okay, so let me do that. Visual Studio Code is taking a bit time. I need to update my system. Guys, they're gonna go. Not right. See, there are three models of loop programs. Okay, I can bet you check anywhere, bring any program to me. I can divide it. I can place it inside these three models. Right? If you learn these three programs, that will be enough. No more. Only practice is enough. You don't even have to learn anything else. So the first one, I call it as, okay, generation. I forgot the name. It's been a long time. I was teaching development recently. So yeah, let's say generation of numbers. Okay. Second one, we have digit separation, generation, digit separation. Okay. Digit separation. And the third one we have is pattern printing. Pattern printing. Okay. So we have number generation digit separation, pattern printing. Now you have seen one part of it. Okay, I have just introduced you to how a basic loop works. That is nothing but number generation with small modifications. Okay, we can control the entire loop. We can control what we want to display. For now, let me make a small change here. Let me keep this inside a comment so that you guys can refer to it later on. Okay, you guys can refer to it later on. I have kept it in the comments. Now see, let's only print I without any new line character. Let us only print I. Let's eliminate the new line character. You see, I'm printing I, comma, end is equal to space. So we have given that space. Done. Now, if I run this, if I say I want to print 1 to 100 numbers, so if I enter n value as 100, so starting from 1 up to 100 numbers will be printed. Yes, starting from 1 up to 100 numbers will be printed. Clear? So let's see, let's enter n value and let us see the output first. So let us say I'll enter 100. So starting from 1, you see 100 numbers is printed. Now I have a small challenge for you. Okay, you see, this is how session should go. I should not tell you or spoon feed you each and everything. I should only unlock your imagination. Okay, your brain is capable of much more things. If I give you all the answers, how you will be able to do something on your own? Okay, I should not spoon feed you. I have given you a push. It's up to you to spread your wings and fly. So here's my question for you. What if I only want to display the numbers which are even? Listen to the statement properly. I'm displaying all the numbers. I don't want all the numbers. I want the numbers which are even or which are odd. I only want the numbers which are even or which are odd. Okay, tell me, for even numbers, tell me, what should I do to print or to change this program, which will only give me even numbers, which will only give me even numbers. What should I do? What should I do? You have been with us from day one. I hope you should be able to answer it. What should I do? What's your idea? Yes, it's very simple. Here, I'm executing the print statement for every number, for every generated I am printing it. So here, what I need to control, I don't want to display all the numbers. I only want to display the numbers which are even. So what is your condition? I should not display everyone. I should only display the numbers which are even. So add a condition if the given I is even, modulus 2 is equal to 0. If that is even, then only execute this print statement. Keep this print statement inside the if. You see inside while I have everything in a single line. Okay, you can see that indentation, right? So if the if statement is true, then it is going to execute it. It's not a rule like you cannot write a if inside a while or a while inside a while. You can write it. That is what we call nested statements. Okay, I kept this print inside if. That is a nested statement. Okay, so in this way, you have to write it. Now, what is the change it is going to do? What's the change it's going to do? Say I'll run it, enter n value, I'll enter 100. This time, as you can see, I'm not getting all the numbers printed. I'm only getting the even numbers. Why? Because this print statement will be executed for only the numbers which satisfy the condition. Which satisfy the condition. Okay, that's it. Even numbers are printed. Sir, I only want odd numbers, sir. Okay, you see, I modulus 2 is equal to 1 I'll keep, or I can simply write I modulus 2. What do you think the output will be? I'll be getting an error. What's your opinion? I'll be getting an error. You see the if statement here, how I changed it. How I changed it. What do you think? I'll get an error. See how I changed the if statement. I just wrote I modulus 2. So what do you think if I enter n value as 100? Will we get even numbers or will we get odd numbers or we are going to get an error or we will get 1 to 100 numbers? So what's your take on it? What's your take on it? So I'll enter n value as 100. I'll enter n value as 100. Now see, if I enter n value as 100, we'll not get any error. We are going to get the odd numbers. Can anyone explain why I'm getting the odd numbers? Why it's not an error? Why it's not an error? Why it's not an error? Yes, can you please post that for everyone? Let everyone see your answer. Josna. It's why we are getting an error. Because no. I value is one, that's okay. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. Yes, the reminder that you will get for even numbers, it is zero. For odd numbers, it is one. Now, what does one stand for? One will be considered true. Zero will be considered false. I hope you remember those things. So every time you get one as result that will be considered as true, your if statement is going to be executed. Every time you get zero, that is for even numbers, the if statement zero is considered false and it is going to print. It's not going to execute that print statement. That's it. Now, guys, what I want is you see here, this fine, even is fine, odd is fine. Now, can you tell me I only want numbers. I only want numbers which are factors of 100. Can you tell me the factors of 100? Can anyone post the factors of 100? I hope you know what is meant by factor or devices, proper devices, which will leave the remainder zero. Can you tell me the factors of 100? What happened? Screen share has been stopped.